Guys, I'm in forest looking for some exciting images of birds. Let's just see what we can get. Welcome to a new video, guys. I just want to do a new video talking about a new camera that's come out. There's lots of videos on it today. It's just been released today. The Canon EOS R8. Lots of videos by YouTubers being very positive. They've had special access from Canon even before today. Obviously they have a relationship, and you should take their reviews and overviews with a pinch of salt, because obviously they've got a special relationship with Canon, and some of them have got information wrong. I'll cite the ordinary filmmaker as one who gets a lot of his information from Canon rumours, and to be honest, he did slate someone recently, a fellow YouTuber. I didn't think that were right what he was doing. And basically all his research and information comes off Canon rumours, really. When it comes to Canon cameras, he don't really do his own diligence and make sure the facts he give out is correct. So yes, Mr. Ordinary Filmmaker, this is not a APS-C camera, as you said in a previous video, and yes, you get things wrong as well. So it's no good slating someone else when you can't get your own facts right. Anyway, I want to go through the specs of the camera. I've got the information on my phone here on the actual Canon website UK itself, so I'm telling you information that is accurate and correct. 24 megapixels is what the sensor, CMOS sensor is. Sensitive low light performance. ISO up to 102,000, expandable to 204,000. Video can be captured at up to ISO 25,000, expandable to 102,000. Up to 4K 60p video, oversampled 6K, there's no crop on there. Frame rates of 60p, and you can shoot full HD at 180p. The EVF is 2.36 million dots. It uses one card slot, a UHS Map 2 SD card slot. Weather resistant, advanced HDR and HDR PQ modes. Guided UI. Discover how to shoot with your EOS R8, navigate its controls and learn the principles of photography. A 6.5 EV autofocus sensitivity, 40 frames per second high-speed shooting, and now this is where the issue I think with this camera is, where you can only shoot 6 frames per second in high-speed continuous shooting mode. That eliminate rolling shutter. Rolling shutter is a big issue, and it's important to note that there is no mechanical shutter on this camera. That is a big problem and a big issue. Also, no Ibis. As a new camera coming out, you would expect there to be Ibis on the sensor, which is a bit of a problem. 30 frames per second raw burst mode, so basically it can take images at 0.5 sec pre-shot capture that records images from before the moment and shutter release button was pressed. The codecs for video is H.264 and H.265. It does have some focus breathing compensation in the software, 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi, Bluetooth low energy 4.2, uses a high quality webcam, dual pixel CMOS AF Mark II for the autofocus, Canon Camera Connect app compatibility, and that's basically it. But I just wanted to give you my take on this. Basically, it's an ideal camera for the beginner, but you're going to have problems with rolling shutter. because there's no mechanical shutter. So it's retailing for £1,500. Now, a lot of people said there's no comparison. Well, I disagree. If you're prepared to use an APS-C sensor, go for the R7. Basically, it's the same price. You maybe have to get it a bit cheaper, you know, from great importers. Mine cost £1,200 actually, and it's a comparable camera in my opinion. In fact, it's better. It's got a mechanical shutter up to 15 frames per second. It can shoot up to 30 frames per second. It's in some respects inferior and in other respects superior. Obviously you've not got a full frame sensor, obviously. You know, I've reached out to a lot of people on the Facebook group, Canon Lenses and Cameras. Please go and check it out. I'll put a link in the description box if you want to go over to the group and, you know, see the posts. But there's a lot of people that are not impressed with the what they're seeing basically. No Ibis and no mechanical shutter is what you need to take away from this video. And yeah, there's a lot of people not so happy. You know, briefly, the R50 was mentioned as well. Even smaller and lighter, 15 to 12 frames per second. Also no mechanical shutter, so just keep it in mind that there seems to be a reduction in having a mechanical shutter in the cheaper cameras. So if you want a mechanical shutter, you're going to have to get the R6 Mark II. Now, a lot of the technology that is in the R6 Mark II is actually in the R8, in terms of the autofocus performance, the eye tracking, animal eye tracking, vehicle tracking, that sort of thing. So a lot of it has come into the R8, and if you're prepared to deal with rolling shutter, and it's not a big issue for you, rolling shutter. In generally speaking, rolling shutter isn't going to be a big issue for a lot of things that you're going to be doing. You know, such as weddings, model work, that sort of thing. It's not going to be too much of an issue. However, where it may be an issue is fast action shooting. When you're doing panning shots and you've got vertical lines in your shot, with, you know, if you don't know what rolling shutter is, basically anything straight appears skewed a little bit. Might be that direction, might be that direction, but it may be critical for you if you do landscapes or building photography, or indoor property photography. That may be an issue for you because you want straight lines in your shots. Now, obviously there's software you can use to try and compensate for this a little bit, but rolling shutter is significantly a problem, guys. And that's why I want to do this video, because there's a lot of YouTubers out there talking about the R8, giving it positive reviews, not giving any sort of negativity. And I wanted to tell you my point of view on this. I did want to talk about the ordinary filmmaker YouTuber who uses, basically, if you ask me, plagiarizes Canon rumours and takes their information and puts it into videos. What I would suggest, ordinary filmmaker, is come up with your own research and try and not use other people's. And to slate a YouTuber who apparently got something wrong in the Nikon world, I think is a bit below the belt, if I'm honest with you. Because you said the R8 would be an APS-C camera, and that's not true. It's a full frame camera. So you don't get things right yourself. So maybe you should look at yourself in the mirror, guy, mate, and not attack other YouTubers. So I just wanted to stick up for that YouTuber that you did slate and say, you know, not everyone is perfect. Some people get things wrong. But when I do a video, I don't give rumours. I don't give maybes or this will happen or maybe that will happen. I tell my audience the facts. If something's sharp, I tell them it's sharp. It's soft, I tell them it's soft. If it's not good value for money, I tell them that. And if I don't think it's a good buy, I'll tell them not to go and buy it. Some people just seem to be on YouTube to create videos, and I'll be honest with you, the ordinary filmmakers' thumbnails, if you look at them, they look like clickbait to me, and I'm not a fan of people who do videos just for the sake of getting views. I do videos to help people, and if they want to come and watch my stuff, great. If they don't like my stuff, fine, no problem. You can go elsewhere if you want to. But I always try to be honest and give you the facts and the truths and the solid information, and it's up to you to make your own mind up whether you like it or not. So basically the R8 is retailing for £1,500, just the same price more or less that the R7 is retailing for. For me, the biggest problem, and what I was hoping for, was a true EOS R Mark II. Now, although this is being touted as a Mark II EOS R, I don't think it's an EOS R Mark II. I think it's an RP Mark II, because there's no image stabilization. Now, although there was no image stabilization in the EOS R, we always felt it would come at some point in the next version of it, and there was the R6 and the R5, and obviously we've got the R6 Mark II, the R5 Mark II, hopefully it will come out probably next year at some point, and we was hoping for an update of the EOS R to come out. Personally, I think this camera is an update to the RP, not the EOS R, because it's not 30 megapixels. It needs to be 30 megapixels to be an update to the EOS R, and it's not. It's 24, and that's pretty much what the RP was, if memory serves me correct. And obviously we had no image stabilization as well. So my thoughts are, it's alright for a beginner. It's going to be limiting in terms of rolling shutter as well, because you've got no mechanical shutter, and the price is reasonable for an entry-level camera, certainly full frame. And when the R5, sorry, not the R5, the R50 comes out, I think it's around $687 pounds, something like that, when that comes out. And that, for me, is going to be Canon's entry into the Rebel market. You know, obviously a lot of people are familiar with the digital SRs or the D300 numbers, or the Rebels obviously. And the Rebels were popular because they were cheap, not that expensive, and they gave you good quality and give you between 3 and 6 frames per second. Obviously it slowed down after a little while, and that's why I ultimately upgraded to the 7D cameras, and then eventually the 5D cameras. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the R8 because there's a lot of YouTubers, to be honest, being biased towards the camera, and I think it's because they've got a special relationship with Canon. They were able to do reviews before the camera had even been released, which means they've got obviously special access with Canon, which means us mere mortals, us small YouTubers, are not able to put out content on new camera equipment or even news in relation to new cameras, because we don't have access to those products and equipments. I'll briefly tell you that Jalapollen and DP Review were pretty much contacted by Canon and flown out to a location where they could test the cameras, get hands-on access to it. Unfortunately, not all YouTubers, especially smaller ones, get that privilege. So unless you've got something like 200 to 1 million subscribers, 200,000 to 1 million subscribers, you're not going to get contacted by Canon anytime soon. You know, all my reviews are with my own money, my own time, and I try and give you facts and information about you know, products. So again, please go and join the Facebook group. It has 22,000 members now, so it's growing. There's some really good people on there. You know, and I'll put a link in the description box if you want to go and join and check them out. But yeah, what I was hoping for was the EOS R Mark II that would have 30 megapixels would obviously have a mechanical shutter as a given, Ibis, and I would have bought it. But because it doesn't have those three things, the R8 is not a camera I will consider. And unfortunately, I may have to buy the R5 Mark II, even though the jump in megapixels is pretty much ridiculous, being 61 megapixels. I don't need that many. Even the 45 in the current R5 is a bit too many. I think 30 is fine as a bare minimum for doing cropping, because I do wildlife photography. And because I do wildlife photography, rolling shutter is a problem. It's something I don't need, I don't want, because what you'll find is wings will look like they're being bent or warped when you're doing various types of location shoots and using wide angle lenses. The corners sometimes can warp as well a little bit. Rolling shutter can be a problem, and that's why I would have wanted a mechanical shutter in this camera, and that's what I assumed we would get. But Canon obviously has dumbed down the specs on this. So if you want, well, put it another way, if you want mechanical shutter, Ibis, and a reasonable amount of megapixels, you're going to have to get the R6 Mark II or wait for the Eagleo weighted R5 Mark II. Sorry, I've gone on a little bit in this video. I just wanted to tell you my frustrations with the reviews that I've been seeing, that a lot of people have been putting out. You know, and please, YouTubers out there, please don't use clickbait thumbnails. It really annoys people when you click on something to learn something and then find out that your video has nothing in there of interest to them. So please don't use clickbait thumbnails. It's not something we want to click on, and we don't want to watch a video that has no relevance. I'll give you an example. When you put out a thumbnail that shows lots of lenses and gives the impression and some new lenses have come out, and you watch the video and all it is rumours about potentially something may come out, that's not news, mate. That's you just making assumptions on something that may or may not come out. That doesn't tell us anything. So what's the point? You're just doing that video for clicks. Please don't do it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. I'm in forest looking for some exciting images of birds. Let's just see what we can get.